You're being asked to trust your intuition and understand that there are some things that are no longer worthy of your protection. And this actually came out in the pre-shuffle as I was connecting to the deck. It might be slightly triggering for some people to hear this, but what I feel like you have to release protections of is the safety and security that you have built around yourself. Because speaking of Queen of Hermit mode and like Queen of Comfort and protecting herself, keeping herself in that comfort zone, because it's fucking scary. It's fucking scary. When you start processing and you start going through this journey to wholeness, this metamorphosis that you are experiencing right now, it can be very overwhelming, especially if you are not releasing. But my love, dancing with the devil that you know is still a devil. And if you truly want change, if you truly want your life to improve, you cannot do these same things that you have done. You cannot react to the situation in the same way. You cannot continue to approach the problem as you have. It's like when you're doing a math problem and the formula just isn't working. But you're not going to try another formula because you've never done that one before. Well, my love, the problem will still be the problem. Fields of Dreams in reverse, details, goblins in reverse, and follow the leader. Love that. I love this card so much because depending on the energy of it, it could be being guided by a mentor, but what I feel in this is looking back to your inner child and your inner adolescence, your inner teenager. That one is not talked about enough in the spiritual community, but your inner teenager is a completely separate energy from your inner child, and they deserve your love and attention too, because you were going through a lot of changes at that time. And what I feel you are being called to do, 222, is become that leader that you needed, because I promise you, my love, there is a child, there is a person out there that has felt a similar pain to you, that has felt a similar sense of sadness, of regret, of self-loathing, and degradation is what I'm hearing. Degradation. Field of Dreams in reverse and details. This is your permission to be delusional. This is your permission to ride that Delulu train all the way to the final station. You have so many dreams, and the acquisitioning of those dreams in your real life is going to happen completely differently than how you think. So don't fawn over what you think you have to do to get there. Obviously, don't do nothing. Obviously, do the work that you have to do to learn something. Do the work that you have to do to get your voice out there, to get your work out there, to expand yourself in whatever way that it is you need to. But don't stop dreaming about this. Don't stop imagining and daydreaming, about this, because the more energy you put into it, the more focus you give it, the greater it can come back as. And when you dream about your fantasy life, your ultimate goals without limitations and complete freedom, you give spirit so much more to work with for you. You give them so many more details. Clarify. What do you want? What do you want your life to be like? What do you want? What is a perfect day in your life? And give it the most details. Play it out in your mind. Write it out in your journal. If you are a writer like myself, you can literally write it out as a story, as a script, or a like a short story, or like a little novella sort of thing. Just put your energy into it. Put your focus on that. And it might be what you need to focus on to redirect from this storm that is going on around us. Underneath the narrator was the amber star, let go. I surrender and allow myself to grieve. You are allowed to grieve this. You are allowed to grieve the dreams that you once had, but what you are not allowed to do is to give in to that darkness, to that negativity, to that annoying voice inside your head that says, why are you fucking trying? You know this hasn't worked out before. You've never had something like this. You have permission to slap that bitch in the face because they are not you. They are not your higher self, and they are certainly not spirit. That is the energy vampires, the leeches, the parasites, the shackles upon you that have been laid down by people who are weaker. And I don't mean weaker as in less than. I mean weaker as in they have not faced nearly as much of their shadow as you have. And you reflect that in them, leaving them insecure. You reflect that in them, leaving them jarred, and like a conversation with you makes them completely question their reality. I love doing that. Like if I'm not making someone question my sexuality, gender identity, or the very basis of reality on a daily basis, I'm not doing my job. Like I'm not doing my job as an enigma. I digress. I'm gonna pull again from the Luminarians deck. Spirit, what can we give to our friends here? That is a whole lot of. Okay. Ooh, yeah, we're expanding. This spring is going to be lead to a very prosperous year if you are allowing yourself to go through all of this. And like, you don't just get to this point of wholeness easily. Like you have to go through so much. I was talking with someone recently about exactly this. Healing came out in reverse. You're scared to do this because you know you're going to have to look back on every little bit of pain, every little bit of heartache and upset. Balanced Forces was the leader of this because there is a disconnect between you and spirit because you are scared to heal. You are scared to be who you are meant to be and where you're meant to go because it is going to be a completely different level of reality, a completely different world, or you're scared to know who you are if you lose the trauma. You're scared you're going to be left as this half-started canvas if you separate yourself from the events that have happened to you. I wish I could hold your hands right now, but let me tell you, you are more than your pain. You are more than the circumstances that have happened to you. And you are more than the labels that frightened, low vibrational people have tried to pin upon you. You are incredible. You are expanding. And you are a warrior. A very powerful warrior. And when you make this connection and you open up those gifts that everyone has the clair gifts, everyone has psychic abilities. When you open them up and come into balance with yourself, they can't touch you because you are vibrationally, fundamentally, and psychologically completely different from them. It does not happen overnight. I can promise that. But it's worth it. I can promise that. Having gone through my own and still going through it. You're worth that work. I love you guys.